What if I told you that one of the most powerful proteins ever discovered for your bones, your immunity, and your entire body, has been sitting quietly in a glass of milk for thousands of years? Not in a lab, not in a pill, in milk. And the wild part? Most of us have never even heard its name. That name is lactoferrin. And today, we are going to go deep into something that most nutrition videos completely skip over. Because this is not just about milk. This is about a molecular bodyguard that has been protecting human life since the very beginning, since the first moment a mother fed her newborn baby. This is a story about nature's hidden intelligence, and it starts somewhere most people would never expect. Picture a hospital room. 1960, a team of scientists is studying the very first milk a mother produces after giving birth, the thick, yellowish fluid called colostrum. They already know it is important, but when they look closer, they find something strange. A protein unlike anything they had fully understood before. It is present in huge amounts. It binds iron with extraordinary strength, and it seems to have a remarkable ability to fight bacteria, viruses, and inflammation all at once. They called it lactoferrin, from the Latin word for milk, lac, and iron, ferrin. At first, the scientific world did not fully understand what they had found, but over the next few decades, thousands of studies would slowly reveal the truth. Lactoferrin was not just another protein. It was one of the most sophisticated, multifunctional molecules the human body interacts with. And raw milk, the kind that has never been heated or processed, carries it in significant, biologically active amounts. So what exactly is lactoferrin? Think of it as a glycoprotein. That means it is a protein with sugar chains attached to it. These sugar chains are not decorative. They help lactoferrin survive inside the body, travel through the gut lining, and interact with cells in a very targeted way. It is produced naturally in the body, in saliva, in tears, in breast milk, and in the lining of the gut. But the richest external source we know of? Milk, especially colostrum, where its concentration is almost 10 times higher than in regular milk. Now here is where the story gets fascinating. Bacteria, to grow and multiply, need iron. Iron is like fuel for them. Without it, they cannot survive. And lactoferrin knows this. It binds iron with an almost obsessive grip, holding onto it so tightly that harmful bacteria simply cannot get access to it. They are essentially starved at the molecular level. Imagine a city under attack, and instead of fighting the invaders head-on, the city locks away all its food supply, all its energy. The invaders show up and find nothing to feed on. They weaken. They cannot grow. They retreat. That is exactly what lactoferrin does inside your gut, your blood, your tissues. But it does not stop there. Lactoferrin does not just starve bacteria. It also directly disrupts the outer membrane of certain harmful microbes, poking holes through their protective walls. It signals immune cells to wake up and respond. It reduces the production of inflammatory molecules called cytokines when inflammation becomes excessive. It supports the growth of beneficial gut bacteria while keeping harmful ones suppressed. It is not just a soldier. It is a strategist, and your immune system responds to it almost like a conversation partner. Lactoferrin actually modulates immune response, meaning it can turn immunity up when you need it, and calm it down when the reaction becomes too intense. This is incredibly rare. Most compounds do one or the other. Lactoferrin does both, depending on what the body needs in that moment. Now let us talk about something that does not get nearly enough attention. Bones. Most people think about calcium when they think about bone health. And yes, calcium matters. But calcium is only as useful as the biological machinery that puts it to work. And that machinery, the cells that actually build bone and break it down, is deeply connected to lactoferrin. Inside your bones right now, there is a constant battle happening. On one side, you have osteoblasts, the builders. These are the cells that lay down new bone tissue, that strengthen and mineralize your skeleton. On the other side, you have osteoclasts, the breakdown crew. Their job is to resorb old or damaged bone, which is a normal part of bone remodeling. The problem is when osteoclasts become too active or osteoblasts become too slow. That imbalance leads to weaker bones, fractures, and over time, conditions like osteoporosis. Research has shown that lactoferrin directly stimulates osteoblast activity. It helps these bone-building cells survive longer, divide more, and do their job more effectively. At the same time, it has been shown to reduce osteoclast formation, essentially slowing down the breakdown side of the equation. The result is a biological shift towards stronger, denser bone. But there is more. Lactoferrin has been linked to the insulin-like growth factor pathway, specifically IGF-1, a key hormone involved in growth, tissue repair, and bone development during the teenage years, when your bones are growing at their fastest rate in your entire life. IGF-1 activity is at its peak, and lactoferrin appears to work alongside this system, potentially amplifying the bone-building signal. This is why researchers have started taking lactoferrin seriously, not just as an immune compound, but as a genuine agent for skeletal health, especially in growing bodies and aging ones. Now comes the part that changes everything about how we think about milk. When milk is heated, as it is in pasteurization, which typically happens between 72 and 85 degrees Celsius, lactoferrin is affected. It is a protein, and proteins, under high heat, lose their three-dimensional shape. This process is called denaturation. A denatured lactoferrin molecule is like a key that has been bent out of shape. It may still partially exist, but it can no longer fit the lock. It can no longer do its job with full biological effectiveness. Raw milk, milk that comes directly from the animal without heat treatment, retains lactoferrin in its native, active form. Studies have measured significantly higher levels of biologically functional lactoferrin in raw milk compared to pasteurized milk, ultra-high temperature processed milk. The kind with the long shelf life sitting on supermarket shelves contains almost no active lactoferrin at all. This is not a myth. This is measurable biochemistry. But here is where we must be completely honest. Raw milk is not without risk. This is a scientific fact just as important as anything else we have discussed. Unpasteurized milk can carry dangerous bacteria, Salmonella, E. coli, Listeria, Campylobacter. These are not rare concerns. They are documented, real risks, especially for children, pregnant women, elderly individuals, and people with weakened immune systems. The reason pasteurization was introduced in the first place was because contaminated milk was killing people. So this is not a video telling you to go drink raw milk every day without caution. The science does not support that kind of absolute position. What the science does support is a nuanced conversation. If raw milk is sourced from a carefully managed, tested, hygienic operation, the kind that follows strict safety protocols, the risk profile changes. Many countries and regions have legal frameworks for certified raw dairy precisely because the sourcing conditions matter enormously. For most people, the more practical path forward is to look at lactoferrin in other forms. Lactoferrin is now available as a supplement, derived primarily from cow's milk through a purification process that retains its biological activity. Research on supplemental lactoferrin has shown promising results in areas including gut health, iron regulation, immunity, and bone support. It is one of those rare nutrients where the science is both solid and still growing. So let us bring this all together. Inside your body, lactoferrin works on multiple levels simultaneously. It guards your gut from harmful pathogens by locking away the iron they need to survive. It communicates with your immune system, helping it respond intelligently rather than overreacting or underreacting. It reduces unnecessary inflammation that silently damages tissue over time. It feeds your bone-building cells and slows down the breakdown process. It supports gut lining integrity, which affects everything from nutrient absorption to mental health. And it has been shown to have positive effects on skin healing, recovery from illness, and overall resilience. These are not small things. These are the foundational systems of human health. And the fascinating part is that this protein has been in milk since long before humans ever understood what a protein was. Mothers have been passing it to their babies through colostrum since the very beginning of mammalian life. It was always there, doing its work, quietly, powerfully. We just did not have the science to see it. So the next time someone tells you that food is just fuel, that what matters is calories and macros, and nothing more, remember this story. Remember that inside something as ordinary as a glass of milk, there is a molecular bodyguard that binds iron like a vice, commands your immune army, builds your bones from the inside out, and has been doing so for millions of years. Sometimes, the most powerful things for the human body were not created in laboratories. They were always there, hidden in nature, waiting for us to finally pay attention.